Last year we gave out a cruise actually.
Cruise ticket
a cruise ticket for two
crew
for the
people?
best employee.
Wow, that's awesome,
Yeah.
man. Maybe I should join your team. Welcome to the Break Mortar Cloud podcast, where we share about scaling stories in F&B and retail. This podcast is brought to you by Staff Annie and produced by Nick Chan. I'm Janson, one of the co-founders of Staff Annie, and today we have Belicia from Manna Pot to share more about her story as a GM as well as entrepreneur with a catering as well as a food and beverage business.
Hello, hi Janson. Nice to meet you.
Awesome. Belicia, can you give a quick introduction about yourself and how do you get into this food and beverage space?
Yeah, sure. So I am a second generation business owner. My mom actually started the company 22 years ago and she founded the company from home. So she started cooking from home and she's been running the company over the last 2 decades. I've joined the company for 9 years now, and throughout the course of my career, I've also founded several companies that are complementary to the catering business as a whole. So they include Floral Artisan, a florist and styling company, Divine Artisan, a bakery, Manna Weddings, a wedding planning company, as well as our restaurants, the White Tiffin, which has 4 outlets currently, and Manna Bistro and Grill, which is a Western concept restaurant. Yeah, so it's a family business. My sister and brother-in-law are also involved in the business, and they are trained in the Culinary Institute of America. So they are basically helming the kitchen operations right now.
That's super awesome. Of course, the Manna Pot, the catering business as well as the events business has been very, very famous. In fact, one of my neighbors, Reina from Good for Food, used your service. And when I was sharing that I'm going to have an interview with you, he was super excited. I was saying the food was amazing. So shout out to Reina. At the same time, I just want to ask a more casual question first before we talk about the business, right?
Yep.
How is it like actually living in a family of entrepreneurs? Because your mom is the one that started the business, your siblings are very entrepreneurial, leading different functions, and your husband, Nick, is the founder of 3 Dots. How does it look like living with all entrepreneurs in one house?
It's quite stressful. No, I'm kidding. I'm actually joking. It's fun because we always get to bounce off ideas and like we share a lot about the same passion. So we bounce ideas off each other and then think about how we could actually bring them to life.
That's
in reality,
awesome.
yeah.
That's awesome. And thank you so much for, the hustle of being here while still being expecting and getting, a delivery date coming really, really soon. So I thank you so much for that.
Not at all.
Maybe over at the same time, your mom started the business a couple of decades ago, right?
Yeah.
And now you are taking over. Is there anything specifically about female leadership that you find extremely empowering in your business and anything that might be different from Nick, the way he operates his business?
Yes, I truly believe in women empowerment, especially in female business leaders, because I feel that, women in general have so much strength. So, like what you mentioned, right? It's not easy to have kids and, run a business at the same time because it's very, especially in our industry, it's so time consuming. It takes a lot of hard work and resilience. But I think that it's a matter of mind over body as well. And having that mindset, that strong mindset that women, we can do it. Yeah.
And I believe you guys can. And I think the last expectancy, you only took 1 month of maternity leave. So really kudos on that grind and ability to take that pressure.
I had to. It wasn't a choice thing.
Okay. So hearing from you that there's multiple business units, right? I think there is both the catering side, you mentioned there's a florist side, there's the event side, and then there is the bakery side and all, right? Seems very, very synergistic to the entire ecosystem and the way that maybe the group is trying to operate. Maybe you can share a little bit, what's the vision of the business? Why did you all choose to expand in those ways, and what's the plan for the entire group?
Okay, so our business traditionally, my mom is really passionate about food. So she believes in providing divine good food for the soul. And she believes that food connects people and that every bowl of food that leaves our kitchen has to be cooked with love. So it's great that my sister and my brother-in-law are actually foodies as well. They're chefs, trained chefs, because I can't really cook.
They
yeah, but I think like what you mentioned earlier on for the catering side is mainly to provide a one-stop solution for our clients in terms of our event catering, and hence why we have all these other services, sister companies which support the wedding catering arm. So I would say the vision is to become a one-stop service provider to our clients for catering. And in terms of like for the food business, food aspects of the restaurants and outlets, it would be mainly to provide really good food. Yeah, every bowl of food has to like pass our founders'
Your taste test.
expectations. Yeah.
Like your mom say no go, it's a no go.
Yes,
if your
that's
siblings
right.
say no go, it's no go. So
That's
everything
right.
is pass your taste test.
Yes, yes.
That's super awesome. So apart from this, background of being very astute tasters as well as trained in the culinary institutes and whatnot, what's the other maybe like differentiator in terms of how you guys operate your business compared to others? Is there a difference in the business model and the strategy compared to a traditional F&B business?
Yes, so I would say that like because we're quite diversified in our businesses. Like I mentioned, for Manna Weddings, for Artisan and Divine Artisan, they are not exactly in the F&B sphere. So by providing these services to our clients, it really gives them that one-stop holistic approach of being able to just get the best quality services all in one place. So that would be one of like the main differentiators, that we have in terms of like wedding catering or being in the wedding industry. Yeah.
That's awesome. And I think there are new outlets opening. I heard here say there's something in Changi coming up and there's something in some other hotels coming up and all.
Yeah.
Expansion is up in the plans this year.
Yes. So in terms of the F&B outlets expansion wise, I think 2024 is going to be an exciting year. It's going to be full of growth. So we're targeting to open 3 new outlets by the end of this year. So that'll be something to look out for.
Super awesome. More amazing food. So maybe you can share what's a recent triumph or like success that you and your team have achieved in the most recent few months or this year?
Okay, I would say that it's really being primed for growth. In general, yeah, so we start off the year with a really great retreat together to do some visions planning and goal setting for the year. So I did give them the 5-year plan that we have, right? So they actually really went down into the details of how they're going to achieve this growth, and they made the necessary plans for my approval to say that, okay, we're going to open X number of outlets. What are the steps that has been taken?
Right.
And that's how we actually, last year we opened 2 outlets, and this year we're planning to open 3 outlets. Yeah.
That's super awesome. There's a lot of people that have planned like team retreats and offsites and all.
Yep.
And sometimes it's not very effective. Maybe you can share what's 1 or 2 things that you did that you would encourage people to do in their offsite so that they can copy and paste some of these strategies and framework to make it effective and productive for.
Okay, have fun first.
That's the most important, right?
Then
You
we
bond,
talk
right? Then we
business,
talk about business, right?
We bond. We have a great family culture, but also like just having an environment where everyone is so comfortable to be themselves and have fun with each other. We have like dinners together. We go out for like drinking sessions sometimes.
Right.
Yeah, not anymore, but
Of course, you have to take care.
And then we also structure it in such a way whereby we do the brainstorming for like 2 hours, and then we take a little break, team bonding activity, something fun for everyone to get together and do or enjoy good food, and then we come back and do the rest of the sessions.
That's a good idea compared to our kind of work sessions, we call it, our offsites, right? We just whack events after events or work until at the end people get brain dead. So I'm going to steal that idea to space things up and, try to put in some cohesive activities in between to like refresh the minds a bit. So really good suggestion over there. Super. How about one recent maybe challenge that you had to overcome? And if you could share, how did you overcome that?
Okay, I would say that like in general, even though I've been with the company for 9 years, a lot of my initiatives were more of like starting new companies, right? That were like things that I was passionate about, like Divine Artisan, Floral Artisan, Manna Wedding. But the challenge of actually managing the entirety of the whole group, the whole organization, really like only fell onto me 2 years ago. And that was the same time where I found out that I was pregnant with my first kid. So it was very overwhelming. I think it has to go down in the books for like one of the toughest challenges that I've had to navigate in my life. So at the same time, there were a few key people that actually left the company at the same time. Yeah. So it was quite overwhelming in that I was thinking, how am I going to manage motherhood and parenthood and also running the company as like, like managing the entire company. But I am very thankful when I look back about how things have panned out, because right now we're like structured. We've set up all the departments, processes, and people properly in the last 2 years. And this is where I know that we're primed for growth and we're ready to fly. Yeah.
That's awesome, man. I mean, if we didn't have the opportunity to maybe set up those processes and you're forced to do it the hard way, right?
Yeah.
Then maybe this year you might not be growing as fast as what
Yeah.
you have done because of those infrastructure that you've done in place. And how do you deal with the staff that left? Because you mentioned that team was one of the issue. Some of the key members left.
Yeah.
So how did you deal with that? Like, what's the strategy behind that?
I would say that in general, people will move on with their lives, and in the current day and age, we can't expect that anyone's going to be with the company forever.
Yes.
So it's really about building an ecosystem or like a very enticing workplace culture or like a good organization where people enjoy being a part of the culture, and also like with good benefits, good remuneration, and in order to retain and attract staff, because you know that in the F&B industry, it's not easy to hire, it's not easy to retain staff at all.
Right.
So yeah, I would say that that was really like one of the focuses that we had the whole of last year.
Got it. If there were one or two initiatives you might want to share with the rest of the team, what were some, whether it's benefits, incentives, engagement activities, or things you did to, build that culture, build that retention? Is there anything that was successful for you guys?
Yeah, I think that one of the biggest things would be like we're doing like this employee spotlight.
That's awesome.
Monthly. Yeah, so this is a new initiative that we're just rolling out this month. But other than that, we also focus a lot on like team building activities, and even like I mentioned, having fun with the team. Our annual gala dinner, and also just incentives for hitting targets. I think that is a very important metrics to for staff to feel motivated. Yeah.
So you have some kind of like sales target incentives, and then once they achieve it, then there's a variable component to their
That's right.
to their monthly income. So there's a money element, and there's also a culture element. There's also the have fun element. And I think I saw the LinkedIn picture. If you guys are following Belicia on LinkedIn, she went up and gave her Employee of the Year, and I think the ang pao is quite big.
Yes, I mean it's all right. I guess we had 3 Employees of the Year. We gave $800 each, so it was a little boost in the motivation, for our staff to really be excited to do well. Last year we gave out a cruise actually.
A cruise ticket for
2 for the
people?
best employee.
Wow, that's awesome,
Yeah.
man. Maybe I should join your team. And if you are recruiting someone in your team,
We can't
I'm
afford
up.
you. No, I'm kidding.
Awesome. So, talking about running a business, right? I bet it's not just about gut feel, intuition, and all. Of course, that is a very important part of an entrepreneur and a leader in the organization. But talking about metrics, do you guys manage metrics, and how what are some metrics that are key to your business that you manage on a week by week or month by month basis?
Yeah, I would say like traditionally no, because like being an SME and my parents started the business, right? It was all very like very traditional way of running business. But ever since I took over 2 years ago, I think that has been something that we have been reflecting on and really putting it into place.
Right.
So where we are setting KPIs for each department in terms of like and that is tied to their like variable bonuses, or like incentives like we spoke about earlier on. So I would say that we are gearing towards really, and I actually set a generic metrics for people, for the staff to follow for their different departments, in terms of what I wish to see. So we are moving towards that. Yeah,
that's awesome. It starts from somewhere and it's evolving towards that direction.
Yeah.
How about business ratios that are very popularly, articulated when operating food and beverage? Do you guys, when you choose a location, is there like a target rent ratio that you hope to keep below, before that revenue that you get, as well as is there like a food cost ratio and like a labor ratio? Is that something that you were aiming every time you choose a location?
Yes. So as we like grow and expand, I think when we first started out and when we first opened the outlets, it was quite new to us. So we didn't really digest this ratios. And that was a learning lesson for us, I think, at some point. So moving forward, I feel that our assistant general manager is great. Our business development team is great. And we have that put into place. And we have a guideline for them to follow. Like for restaurants, you should be looking at like no more than like 32% food costs.
Okay.
Yeah. So like anything between 28 to 31% is still acceptable.
That's right.
I
That's
would
what
say.
our other guests shared as well.
Yeah, so that's the kind of like buffer that they're given, and then they would do their own analysis and report to me the figures in terms of like what do they forecast that this would be the sales and this would be the food cost ratio.
Right.
Yeah, in terms of rent wise, it really depends. So that one is dependent on a lot of components like you mentioned high footfall, right? For shopping malls, it's definitely going to be a lot more, but for the quieter, it depends on the concept as well, because we have like the White Tiffin brand, which primarily focuses on areas with high footfall, but we're also inclined to like diversifying it if there are opportunities where we recently opened one in a hotel. Yeah, so that one was like more of like the White Tiffin fusion where we had like a buffet style. So we evolve accordingly. So I would say that for that one, it depends on a lot of other factors. Yeah.
I see. How about labor costs? Is there managing of that? Is that a concern to your business? How are you guys dealing with that right now?
Yes, labor cost is getting increasingly high, as you probably already know, as every other F&B owner would tell you. So it's quite a challenge to manage labor costs in general because it's always on the climb, right? With inflation, with like policies being set that is like increasing the minimum wages for not just for F&B workers, but for like employment passes that are coming in and stuff. So that is quite a challenge to manage.
That's awesome to hear, and I think that's the same thing that many of our guests shared.
Yeah.
Is there any tricks or any particular strategy that you guys have adopted to reduce some of this, whether is it food costs or labor costs, or increasing the revenue as part of the some of the new initiatives that you've done this year?
Yes, I would say like for labor costs, in order to manage that, because with the F&B business, there's always going to be lull periods, and there's always going to be times where like you're not maximizing the productivity of the staff, like where it's like 3 to 5, there's no one that's going to really walk in and have like a full bowl of laksa. So we try to keep it to more of like hiring more part-timers and making it more flexible so we can maximize the peak periods and make more revenue from that lunchtime or dinner time, but also managing the labor costs at the same time.
That's super. Yeah. Shameless plug. Actually, Staff Any just launched a feature to help you manage speed shift and at the same time
that's
manage your
amazing.
part-time worker. So all these things will be automatically added to your payroll at the end of the month. But
Thanks for solving our problems.
just adding just one or two shameless plug, right? But maybe over here we move on to digital strategy, because I think for you to scale up and to optimize the cost on both food as well as labor as well as increasing revenue, I'm sure there's a lot of innovation and initiatives that you guys have embarked on. Maybe you can share one or two of those initiatives that you have set up for the last couple of months.
I am an avid believer of technology and digitalization, because I believe that even though we're in a traditional landscape of F&B business where it's more traditional, but digitalization is here to make our lives better and easier. So we are always keen to adapt new technology to better our businesses. So some of the initiatives that I've launched in the last 2 years is the implementation of an ERP system, which helps us to manage from the time that our clients place an order to the time that is being delivered. So that's one of them for the catering business. In terms of the restaurant side of things, I think for our QSR restaurant, the White Tiffin, we implemented the use of buzzers. And for the other restaurant, Manna Bistro, we have adopted digital robots to serve the food or clear the food. And also the implementation of QR code ordering, which allows them to just make their order from their tables. So we reduce on the manpower cost to take their orders and serve them the food.
Right. One of the things that I observe is that when you mention you are into technology, right, is real because I also observe that you have an initiative using AI in one of your initiatives.
Yes,
Can you share more about your upcoming initiative on that?
Yeah, sure. So we're in the midst of implementation. We have plans to roll out the usage of an AI robot by Vote. It's going to be used for our catering business and also the White Tiffin restaurant business, because I think it's quite labor intensive to have a customer service officer, like, responding to queries on the website or social media. So that would help to reduce that manpower cost.
That's super, super forward thinking. And, all of us are just still stuck at the ChatGPT era, and you are already using robots as well as enhancing your guest experiences and your customer experience with the empowerment of AI. That's super awesome. All right. So moving on to some of the, predictions of the F&B landscape. What do you think would be the biggest topic, and what do you think are some new trends that may come up in 2024?
I would say actually like what we just spoke about, AI.
Okay.
AI, because it's such a huge thing right now. So I feel that if you're not like jumping on board like fast enough on this bandwagon, right, you're going to be like lagging behind. Yeah. So I always feel that we need to be the early adopters of whatever technology. Of course, like not jump into it without considering the rest of the factors yet, but you have to be open to like embracing technology, embracing the latest advancements in technology in general.
That's super awesome. I think we can go to the rapid fire questions, where I'll ask you a quick question and then you just answer as short as you can.
Okay.
So are you ready for the rapid fire question?
Okay. We'll try.
All right. So let's go.
Okay.
Who is someone in the industry that you learn a lot from?
My mom, for sure.
What's one piece of advice you wish someone had given you before you started up your journey in F&B?
It's going to be tough, but it's going to be worth it.
If your son or daughter or both of them are interested in joining this F&B adventure, what would be one advice you give them?
Don't be afraid to get your hands dirty. You have to be on the ground. You have to learn as much as possible. Be adaptable and be resilient. Yeah.
That's awesome. If we were to dine in one of your restaurants, maybe just a few of us with friends and all, what are some things you order for the table to share?
I would say the local trio, because it has all our best sellers, laksa, mee siam, and the nasi lemak. And also our tiffin sampler. The tiffin sampler has like the best of all the worlds as well. There's beef rendang. There is what else?
Everything Peranakan, that's amazing.
Everything on the plate. Yeah, yes, everything on the plate. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a huge variety compared to places where you need to order one by one, right?
Exactly.
You get a platter and then
it comes in mini-sized portions where like, you can share.
Right.
Singaporeans love to share our food, right? We don't want to order the whole thing like and finish that bowl of laksa. You want to try a bit of everything.
Right.
So yeah, I think that'd be cool.
That's awesome. How should someone interested to follow your journey or your brand follow you?
You can follow me on LinkedIn. Yeah.
All right, at the LinkedIn at the bottom over here.
Yeah.
And will you offer a parting, like a coffee mentorship session for one aspiring F&B owner?
Yeah, of course. I'd love to.
That's awesome. So actually, this is the parting words. We have went through most of our topics of discussion on this podcast. Is there some final words you'd like to share with our audience that may be following us in this episode?
Yeah, I would say like in everything that anyone does, actually put your 100% into it. It's all about hard work and the determination and to persevere. That's what my mom always tell me. Persevere through it all and the days will get better.
That's super awesome.
Yeah.
I hope the listeners here have gotten something from Belicia's journey. I've learned so much from her journey as well as her spirit of innovation of trying to adopt technology and improve the processes. At the same time, I'm extremely thankful for Belicia to come in here while being expected, and the delivery is coming really soon. Yeah. So I wish you a very smooth delivery.
Thank you.
Hopefully not so stressed compared to the first one. And have a good next few months with your newborn.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
All right,
Thank
see you
you
around.